This ministry content is brought to you by the partners of Terry Savelle Foy Ministries.
Hey, I'm Cassidy Foy, Terry's daughter. I know, my voice isn't as high pitched. I probably sound like I should be the mom, but I'm just helping my mom out while she's recovering. I just want to give you an update. You may be following along with my mom on Instagram. She is recovering from a surgery that had some complications, but this is a praise report. She is doing so much better. The nerves in her face are being restored and God is doing a miracle. Thank you so much for praying and believing with us. You really were cheering us on these last few weeks. Today, I want to take you into a clip from our Icing Women's Conference in 2023. And let's just say you might be challenged after watching this, but in a good way. Let's watch.
Challenge yourself for 30 days. Challenge yourself for 30 days. Challenging yourself is so good for you. Justin Timberlake said, you're not meant to do what is easy. You're meant to challenge yourself. Now, let me explain to you why it's so important that you challenge yourself. Ed Milet believes this is the number one way you shift your identity. And here's what he says. You're challenging yourself by building a reputation with yourself. What kind of reputation? That you keep the promises you make to you. See, you have to believe in you to be successful. And when you challenge yourself for 30 days, 30 days is a perfect amount of time to not be overwhelmed. And let me just tell you, you can do anything for 30 days. You can. But what happens is you do something consistently, even just one thing, for 30 days, it builds this reputation with yourself. It builds momentum. You start feeling like you're unstoppable. In fact, Ed Milet said it like this. He said, give yourself a short window of time to behave completely different and shock your system into thinking, oh my gosh, I could never go back. I could never go back to where I was. Ed says, go psycho for 30 days. So what happens is you trick your brain into believing you're different now. You're not the same person. So that's what happened with me was, when I first started making these changes, one of the first things I did, was start exercising every day for 20 to 30 minutes. And really, it was just to go for a walk. That's how I started. Not at the gym, just go for a walk every day for 21 days. But then I turned it into 30 days. But during my walk, it was in the dark. It was just me and God early in the morning. I turned it into my prayer time. And I got closer to God than I've ever been in my entire life during those morning walks. Well, at the end of 30 days, why would I ever want to stop something? Not only was I getting closer to God, my thighs were getting smaller. Why would I stop? No, but after 30 days, I said, well, I'm going to do another 30 days. Well, that was in 2002, and I've never stopped working out. But it started with a 30-day challenge. Well, another challenge I did was I said, well, I'm just going to make myself read because I started learning leaders are readers, and you got to learn more to earn more. So I hated it, but I opened up the first book, set the alarm on my phone for 20 minutes, and it just felt like torture. Like I'm reading. I keep looking at the clock, and I'm reading. Because the only books I read were the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleader Manual, remember? But I'm reading. But all of a sudden, the more I read, I started learning things like how to build my confidence, how to see my marriage restored, how to get out of debt, how to be a leader, how to market my ministry. I started learning so much with a 20-minute habit that just started, for 30 days. Well, at the end of that, why would I ever stop something that's changed my life so drastically, right? Or just the simple habit of making myself listen to messages. Do you know I have learned more in the morning, pushing play, gluing my eyelashes on, than I ever learned in college, just pushing play. So why would I ever stop something that has such benefits, right? So I want to challenge you to do something for 30 days. It could be read one proverb. It could be make your bed. It could be wake up 30 minutes earlier. Show up on time everywhere you go. It could be, I don't know, you got to think of what that is for you every day for 30 days and do not skip a day. There was this lady who climbed Mount Everest, and there was all these interviewers there, and they said, how does it feel to conquer that mountain? And she said, we didn't conquer the mountain. The mountain can't be conquered. She said, we conquered the limitations within ourselves. That's what's going to happen. Prove to yourself you can do anything for 30 days. So I heard Darren Hardy, he used to be the publisher of Success Magazine. He said one day he was just so ready to meet the woman that God had for him. So ready to get married. So he said he just decided to make a list of the ideal woman that he wanted to marry. And he wrote all this out. He's writing the vision, make it plain. All of a sudden he looks at this list and he said, if I really found a girl like that, she wouldn't be attracted to me. He said, who do I need to become to attract a woman of that standard? And then he began to elevate his standards. Well, I want you to remember, standards are what you say yes to and what you say no to. Standards are where you draw a line in your life and you refuse to go below it. So let me give you an example. You have a standard in your health. Like there's a limit to what you will allow yourself to weigh. There's a number. You may not like it, but that's your standard right now. Same with your finances. You have a standard. Like there's a limit to what you will allow your checking account, your savings account to get to. In fact, I heard someone the other day say they have close to $500-600 in their savings account and they barely have money to pay their credit cards. But that's their standard right now. They allowed themselves to get to that level. I heard another girl just the other day. She goes, oh my gosh, I would never let my savings account get below $40,000. She said, that freaks me out. That's her standard. So we have standards whether we like it or not. We have standards with our house, how junky and cluttered and dirty we'll let it get before we go, okay, enough's enough, it's time to clean up, right? You have standards with your time, how much time you'll sit and watch TV or just scroll to where finally you'll go, okay, I've wasted enough time, that's enough. So we have standards already, whether we realize it or not. But if we want to go to a new level, we all have to raise our standards, right? So what does this mean? When the alarm goes off, get up. Don't hesitate. When, let's say you pull up at the gym and you're in the parking lot and you look at the people inside, don't do that. Get out of the car right then because you will talk yourself out of it. I've done it. When God tells you to give, don't hesitate. Obey. When it's time to go to bed because this is your new standard, don't pick up the phone and scroll. No, just put the phone down. You're going to bed now. This is your new standard. So I want to tell you what's going to happen. When you start applying these things right here, you're painting a picture of your ideal self, you're improving your posture, you're elevating your standards, a shift is going to happen. A shift is going to take place on the inside of you. And what used to hold you back is no longer going to have power over you. In fact, do y'all remember, let me wrap it up with this, the story of the elephant who was tied to a little 18-inch stake in the ground? Do you remember those stories? And this elephant is capable of like pulling down entire trees with one tug, right? But he stood there held captive by a puny 18-inch stake in the ground. And you think, why in the world wouldn't he just break free? And the story says that because he tried it when he was a baby and he couldn't break free. So he just assumed all these years later he could never break free, so he never even tried. You may have tried to make changes in your life in the past, and nothing ever lasted. It didn't stick. But I'm believing today, in the name of Jesus, a shift is going to take place. And what used to hold you back is no longer going to have power over you, in the name of Jesus. Do you receive that? I believe it too.
Did you see what I mean? You challenge yourself so you can build a reputation with yourself. What kind of reputation? That you keep the promises you make to yourself. I'm curious, have you ever done a 30-day challenge? If so, let me know in the comments what you did for 30 days. I'm so curious. And if you want to start a 30-day challenge, I want to give you a list of 30-day challenge ideas that we put together for you. This list has everything from don't eat out for 30 days, journal your prayer time for 30 days, limit your screen time to 1 hour a day. I need to do that one. But there's 30 other challenge ideas, so just pick one and start. You can download this list by clicking the link in the description. And before I go, we are only 2 months away from our biggest event of the year, the Icing Women's Conference in Dallas, Texas. Join us for this unforgettable 2-day experience where you'll learn the tools you need to live your dreams. You know, something happens when you get in an environment and you experience this event in real life. The atmosphere is contagious. It's full of Christian women who are dreaming big. And so I want you to be there. Reserve your seat by going to terry.com. And remember, we're cheering you on to live your dreams.
Join us for the Icing Women's Event live experience in Dallas, Texas. This is your time to grow in your relationship with God. Get the biblical tools you need to live your dreams. Be set free from limitations and make 2024 your record-breaking year. Join Terry Savelle Foy along with anointed guest speakers on August 30th through the 31st for an unforgettable weekend that will inspire and motivate you to live out your God-given purpose. Go to terry.com to register for Icing Women's Event today. We can't wait to see you at Icing 2024, the premier women's conference for faith-filled dream achievers.